friends, welcome to Beautifully Bookish Bethany. Today's video is a little bit of a departure from my usual content. I'm going to be talking about planning a Disney World trip while having a child with multiple food allergies. If you're new here, normally I talk a lot about books, but my family recently went on vacation and one of my children has a whole bunch of food allergies. Some of them are usual, some of them are not. As some of you might know, having severe food allergies can make traveling very difficult, especially eating out at restaurants can be challenging when you have multiple food allergies and you don't know what's going to be safe and what isn't. Thankfully, Disney is actually really great about food allergies, and so with some advanced planning and kind of knowing what to do and what to expect, we were able to spend a really fun week or most of a week at a Disneyworld Resort, go to parks, and go to multiple restaurants, eating food and dessert with my allergy child, and we only had one reaction and it wasn't too severe. We didn't have to use an EpiPen. So I feel like that's pretty good. I'm gonna go over how I did my planning, where we went, what we had, what our experiences were, and I'll include little clips of footage where I have it. Honestly, there were some times, because, you know, my kids are not that old, where we were just all hungry and tired, and so stopping to take a video of our food was not a thing that was gonna happen. So, you know what? It's fine. We have what we have. But I hope that this might be useful and informative for people who are considering going on vacation with Disney so that you kind of get a sense of what to expect, what you can do ahead of time, and what the experience was like. I do have a couple of criticisms, but in general, our experience was really positive. They do have allergy menus at the majority of the restaurants. And if you have someone with multiple food allergies, what's great is the chef will actually come out and talk to you, go over all the ingredients, the allergens, and make sure that everything is going to be prepared safely without cross-contamination. Allergens that we were trying to avoid on this trip include peanuts, tree nuts, sesame, fish and shellfish, eggs, legumes, so anything in the bean family or peas, and kiwi. So those are the food allergies that we're working with. It's a lot. It is an unusually high number. And again, this is often what makes it difficult for us to go out very many places. And it was such an amazing experience being able to go to so many restaurants in Disney and have it be pretty safe. Again, we're going to do a deep dive, get into all of the nitty-gritty of the planning, but we had a fantastic time. The kids had such a blast, and it was really cool that my allergy kid was able to be involved and go to all of these restaurants and have treats and have fun meals and know that in most cases it was going to be safe to eat, which as a parent is also a huge weight lifted because that's usually a lot of anxiety, especially if you're traveling. So hopefully this is helpful. Let's go ahead and dive into how I started doing research before the trip. Now, you might assume that the planning here would start with getting ready to book restaurant reservations, but actually this started much earlier. I knew going into this that we wanted to have some kind of a kitchen space available so that we could make our own breakfasts, have snacks, have a wide range of safe foods available where we were staying, and we did plan to stay at a Disney resort. This had been a trip that was planned and saved for a lot of years. Our kids were kind of the perfect ages for this. They're 7 and 9. We knew that this would be a good time where they'd be big enough to ride on most of the rides, they'd be able to have memories of the trip, and it would be really fun. And I think that that was a good move. It ended up being a fantastic vacation. I also knew we wanted to go in off season. Because we live in New York City, public schools have a week break in the middle of February, and so we decided that would be the perfect time to go. It's not too hot, it's not too humid, there's not nearly as many people in the parks, and the prices of the resort packages are a lot lower, and demand is also a lot lower. This ended up being a really good move. Leading up to when we were able to book, because you can only book so far in advance, I knew that what I was hoping for was to get a cabin at Fort Wilderness. And thankfully, partly probably because of the time of year, I was able to nab it. I think if you can afford it, and you especially have a child with allergies, this is a great way to go. Here's the cabin we stayed at. Welcome to our cabin. There we go. So we have a little dining room table, a sofa sleeper. Here's the kitchen. So it comes with dishes, coffee maker, full fridge, microwave, and a 2-burner stove. It's so pretty. And here we go. Here Here's the bathroom. So we've got a tub and shower with Disney shampoo, body wash, and conditioner.
Mommy, go to the bedrooms.
Full-length mirror on the back of the door. And here is the bedroom with a bunk bed.
Vacation.
So this is where we're gonna be staying for the week.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Bunk beds here were perfect for the kids, and I was able to order groceries to be delivered to the resort and then brought to the room. I think the fee to have them delivered to the room was like $6, which was nothing. So I used Amazon Fresh. It was super easy. We were able to order snacks for the entire week. We ordered breakfast for kids and grown-ups. We ordered some treats, and we got a pizza for a night that mom and dad were going out on a date, and we were getting an in-room babysitter. So I'll go over that too for people who are interested. This ended up working out great. We had plenty of food in the cabin for when we were going to be there, and then we had plans for what we were going to eat, or options for what we were going to eat when we would go to the different parks. We were staying in the cabins in Fort Wilderness, absolutely loved it. It is in closest proximity to Magic Kingdom. They have an internal bus system, so we were able to just ride a bus down to a little dock, and there would be a boat that would come every 20 minutes or so and take you over to the Magic Kingdom park entrance. It's a little more of a hassle to get to some of the other parks, but it was reasonably manageable. We don't have a car, we flew in, and we were fine, but you can also bring a car if you want to. So step one was deciding where we were going to try to stay, making sure that we had accommodations for food and groceries while there. Step two was researching restaurants and booking reservations for our nicer dining restaurants. If you're not staying at a Disneyland resort, which you could do, you could get an Airbnb and drive in, you'd still get the kitchen that way. Then you can book restaurant reservations 60 days in advance of your trip. If you're staying at a Disneyworld Resort, you can book 90 days ahead of your trip. I'll admit, I was not on the ball enough to do it 90 days ahead of time, but it ended up being fine because we were going in off season. If you're going in summertime or spring break, I probably would recommend doing it as soon as you possibly can, but for us it ended up being fine. On the Disney World website, you can actually go to most of the restaurants in the parks and in the resort areas and see their allergy menus online. Do note that these are subject to change, so leave yourself a little bit of wiggle room. Everything may not be exactly the same as it was when they put it online, which is why you'll do a consult with the chef when you actually get there, but it'll give you a pretty good idea of, based on your allergies or your child's allergies, which places might have some options for them. I knew we planned to visit 3, possibly 4 parks, so I went ahead and did the research ahead of time for what restaurants might be options for my child and what food items were most likely to work. I also did this for treat type things. So ice cream, for instance, what were some safe places that we might be able to have a treat? One of the big things I knew that we wanted to do while we were there was do some kind of a character meal. And as somebody who is a big fan of breakfast food, I thought it would be really cool if we could do a character breakfast. And as it turns out, we were able to do one. I'll get into what we did later, but I did a little bit of research, found a place we could do a character breakfast. It looked like they had allergy-friendly Mickey waffles, which was amazing, and I went ahead and booked that. Now, Disney World does have dining plans that you can get. Personally, I'm not sure I would recommend them if you have an allergy child, just because there's a lot more limitations on what they can and can't eat. So we did not do a dining plan. The other reason for this is my spouse and I don't really drink very much. I think I had 1 or 2 alcoholic beverages the entire week we were there. And if you're not going to be drinking at most meals, it's probably not worth it for the adult credits. So we did not do the dining plan. We also knew we wanted to do a mix of some quick service restaurants and some more expensive restaurants. And for us, it just ended up being more affordable and made more sense to not do the dining plan. In total, we ended up booking 3 table service meals with the family, 1 with just the adults for date night, and everything else we did from quick service. And in our experience, it worked out really well. So let's go ahead and look chronologically at what we ended up doing and what the experience was like. We flew into the Orlando airport on Friday night, and one thing to note is that the terminal we landed in had a Chipotle. Chipotle is a fantastic fast food option for people with allergies. They're really allergy friendly, and it is one of our very few go-to fast food options when we're out and about or traveling with our kids. So we were able to get dinner at Chipotle for the kids, and that worked out really well. They also have very affordable kids meals. They don't really market themselves as a family type restaurant, but their kids meals are like $5 or $6 and they get a lot of food. So if you're looking for a good kid friendly, allergy friendly option on the go, I would recommend Chipotle. That night we stayed in a hotel near the airport. This was the Ramada, and it was actually really great. Their free breakfast the next morning had a number of things that our kid could eat. They had sausage, they had different breakfast cereals with milk, they had fresh fruit, they had individually packaged yogurt. So it was really nice because you never know with these free kind of buffet style breakfasts if there's going to be allergy friendly foods or how many there will be, but we had a really great experience there. Later that day, we took a lift over to the Fort Wilderness Resort and checked in. They were even able to get us into our room really quickly, which was amazing. And so we ended up going to the Trails End restaurant, which is part of the resort. It's got a very Western vibe. They have pizza, they have fried chicken, chicken fingers, kind of a wide range of things. And they were very accommodating. They showed us the allergy menu. The chef came out to talk to us and make sure we could make a meal that would accommodate the allergies of my child. We were able to do chicken fingers with a special allergy-friendly breading. You do have to talk to the chef for this. So unfortunately, you can't really order through the app with multiple food allergies. So that is one complaint that I have, is that you do have to go in person to order. You just can't pick up your food and you have to talk to the chef. But at the same time, I don't mind that much since we're still able to do it. But we did the allergy-friendly version of the chicken tenders, French fries, and a side of watermelon. And it was a lot of food because they're not kid portions. So they ended up taking part of it home and having some of it the next day. So that was plenty of food. Closer to the end of our trip, there was a day where we got a pizza from them as well. And same thing, they had a chef come out and talk to us, make sure we could do the pizza, keep it allergy friendly. It was not a problem. We did a pepperoni pizza. The pizza was pretty good. The kids liked it. No issues. Nothing but good things to say about the Trails End restaurant. The food was good. They were very accommodating. We had no problems with the allergens. If we were eating it there, it came out with an allergy stick in it, so we knew it was safe and it was prepared in a separate area. Or if it was something that I ordered to pick up and go, because it was not the only time we went and got those chicken tenders, then you would have an allergy sticker, a purple allergy sticker on the box or the bag that includes a list of all of the allergens. So they did a really good job with that. My one complaint about food options at the resort is there is a snack bar next to the pool and they don't do any allergen related stuff there. They don't have a list of allergens for anything. I guess it's because they can't ensure cross-contamination, but it would be nice if they had at least some, separately packaged things or things where you're pretty sure it's probably going to be okay, but we didn't end up buying anything from the snack bar because of that. Next day was Sunday and we were off to the Magic Kingdom. We had early breakfast in the cabin before we went off to the park. And one nice thing too about staying at the resort is you get into all the parks 30 minutes early. So we were able to be there 30 minutes before everyone else, get on a couple of rides before the place filled up. And even though it was pouring rain all day long, it ended up being a blessing in disguise because we were able to get on like 11 rides that day just because there were fewer people out because of the rain. So it ended up being really nice. For lunch, we ended up having our first official reservation at the Plaza Inn. The waiter we had was wonderful. They even had a specific allergy kids menu, which was really cool because the kids menus come with stuff that they can color on, and they have one that's just the general one and one that's for kids with food allergies, which I love that. I love that they do that. It was amazing. The kids meals there were pretty great. They got to pick an entree and 2 sides/desserts. The possible options we could have done were a kid's hamburger or chicken tenders. For sides, there were a couple of different fruit options that would have worked for us. Again, we have some unusual allergies, so some of the other sides might work better for other people. And they were even able to offer ice cream for dessert, which was really exciting. They couldn't do the full fun ice cream cone with chocolate coins, Mickey face ice cream, but my kid was very happy with just the scooped ice cream that they wanted. So that was an unexpected plus. They also can pick a drink to go with it, and again, it comes out with the allergy-friendly stick. While the kids enjoyed their ice cream, the grown-ups shared this delicious chocolate ganache cake with salted caramel popcorn on top, which was an interesting addition. But the food there was great, the waiter was wonderful, they made sure everything was going to be safe for our child to eat, and we had a fantastic experience. A few hours later, the kids wanted another treat, and did they just have ice cream for lunch? Yes, but we were on vacation, so I was like, sure, what the heck, you can get something else if you want. And we ended up going to one of the carts. They had an allergy book they could pull out and show us all of the ingredients and allergens and everything that they sold, which was amazing. And my kid was able to have a Mickey Mouse shaped ice cream sandwich, which was a big hit. There are some options at the carts because they're made by other companies. This was by Nestle. They do have a book with all of the ingredients that you can go ahead and look at, which was amazing. For dinner, we went to the Pinocchio Village House for pizza, and their allergy-friendly crust was a cauliflower crust, which was a hit. So we did a pepperoni pizza on the allergy cauliflower crust with cuties and chocolate milk on the side. I swear we don't usually do nearly this much sugar, but again, we were on vacation, so we were a little bit more lax about it. Again, when I went to the cash register to order, I let her know all the allergies. Somebody came out to talk to me to make sure that we had everything squared away and everything was going to be prepared separately. And in fact, the allergy meal came out on a separate purple tray. This is something you can generally expect at the quick service restaurants throughout the Disney World parks, and I appreciate that. If you've got the purple tray, it means that it was an allergy meal, it was prepared in a separate area, and they're really good about it. And that was the end of day one. On day two, we went to Epcot. We had a character breakfast booked for the morning, which was fantastic. I'll talk about that. And I had found a couple of quick service restaurants that were more allergy friendly. One thing to note is I would say that Epcot is the least allergy friendly place to go. Most people are going there for food and drinks. And unfortunately, most of those little kiosks are run by outside vendors and they do not have allergy information available. Disney doesn't really have anything to do with how they manage their food. So while we had a fantastic experience with the character breakfast here, I'm gonna say this might not be high on my list of park recommendations if you have a lot of serious food allergies and if you have kids, because there aren't a lot of rides. What there are have really, really long wait times. So while we had a pretty good day, we waited 2.5 hours in line for the Frozen Forever After ride, and I mean, it was a cute ride, but 2.5 hours, oof, and it was not a fun line. So do with that what you will. That said, we did book a character breakfast and it was fantastic. We went to the Garden Grill restaurant, which is in the land area. It's very cool. The tables are on 2 levels on a rotating platform that slowly turns all the way around as you eat. It made about 1 full rotation while we were having our breakfast, and you're able to see down into one of the little boat rides down below. So it was pretty neat. The character breakfast was with Chip and Dale as well as Mickey Mouse and Pluto, and the kids had a blast. Again, they have an allergy meal, and the chef did come out to talk with us to double check everything and make sure that we had things in order, and it worked out great. Normally the food all comes out family style. Because we had an allergy, they had the allergy friendly things come out family style, and they separated out some of the other items like the eggs, for instance. So the things that all went together were the bacon, the steak, the Mickey waffles. We had scrambled eggs in a separate bowl for the 3 of us who were able to partake of them. Then they have this absolutely incredible cinnamon bread that unfortunately I think has eggs in it, so it wasn't gonna work out for the allergies. So they brought out some of that for the 3 of us who weren't eating allergy, and then a special thing of allergy friendly kind of biscuits that were also a big hit. So the food was delicious. Meeting all the characters were fun. Rotating around while we were eating was fun. The kids had a blast. Definitely would recommend it. It's a little bit on the higher end, but we knew that we could swing it if we did some cheaper options at other times, and it worked out. Then for dinner, we went to the Connections Eatery. This is a quick service restaurant, and again, I went to the register to order, let them know about the allergies. Another staff member came out to talk to me and make sure that everything was squared away. And there we were able to do a kids meal with pepperoni pizza, cuties on the side, and apple juice, no problem. Again, it came out on the purple tray and the kids liked it. I barely got a shot of the crust of the pizza from this because again, everybody was cranky and hungry, probably because we'd been in that frozen ever after line for 2.5 hours and it was hot. So that was how that went. The next day we went to Hollywood Studios. Again, breakfast in the morning at the cabins. We had a pretty late lunch reservation, so we decided to do a snack in between. I think I might have forgotten to get video footage of this, but we went to Ronto Roasters and the chef came out to talk to us and we were able to do a special allergy-friendly Ronto wrap that the kids shared. There were some ingredients we had to leave out. We used an allergy-friendly wrap. There was, I think, a sauce that they left off that had an allergen in it, but we were able to do the wrap, the sausage and the cabbage, and the kids seemed to really like it. So they split one of those and my husband and I split one of the regular ones. The allergy-friendly one came out in its own box with the allergy-friendly sticker on it, and the chef was delightful. He was so nice and did a fantastic job, wanted to make sure we were taken care of. While we didn't go there, I know that Docking Bay 7 also has some allergy-friendly options, so if you're in Star Wars Land, you have a few places you could go. Again, we had a reservation somewhere else, so we didn't end up eating there, but I had done some research and it looked like that was another great place to go. I'll admit we're big Star Wars fans, so it was quite exciting. For our late lunch that day, we went to the Roundup Rodeo Barbecue in Toy Story Land. And unfortunately, I told you that we had one reaction on the trip. This was the restaurant where we did have a reaction, and it was a bummer because the food tasted amazing and the environment was really cool. The chef did come out to talk to us and tried to do his best, and they came out again and were very apologetic about it. I am really not sure what the problem was. I don't know if there was cross-contamination. We had a lot of different things, and so it is possible that there was an ingredient that we missed that was in something. I will say this, that most of the other times that I went places, they would physically show me the ingredient list to look at so I could scan it and make sure that there was nothing missing. In this case, I wasn't looking at the ingredient list myself, and I think at this point in the trip, we hadn't had any problems. I was feeling pretty comfortable that things were going to be okay. And so I was like, yeah, you know, if they look it up. So it is possible that maybe if I had been scanning it, that there was something small because he was doing like a word search for the different allergens that were a little more unusual. So I'm not sure what the problem was. Again, thankfully it wasn't a super severe allergy. We didn't have to use the EpiPen. We did some oral allergy medication and about 20 minutes later it was fine, but that was definitely a disappointment. Now, that said, if you have less severe allergies or less unusual allergies, this might be a cool place to try because it is really neat. It's basically set up to where you're shrunk down to the size of a toy. It's a really fun environment. The waitress was really nice and the food tasted delicious. It's a barbecue restaurant and it's a lot of food. It's got multiple sides. It comes with dessert. I left a little bit early to make sure that my kid was okay, so I didn't try the dessert. I can't speak to that. But what I did have was tasty. So unfortunately, that is the one place that we had an issue. My recommendation would be if you have more severe allergies or multiple unusual food allergies, is maybe just make sure that you're actually scanning the list of ingredients yourself, just to make sure that there's not something that slips through the cracks. That said, the fact that we went a whole week mostly eating out, which we don't do very often, and that was the only incident, I'm really pleased because I think that's pretty good given how many allergies we have. That night was date night, so we hired a babysitter to come stay in the room. We had a great experience with that. There is a babysitting service called Kids Night Out that specializes in sending professional sitters to the parks. I would definitely recommend this if you have young kids and you're looking for a date night or some time away. We had a really fun time. We went to Disney Springs. We had dinner and drinks at the Edison and did some shopping. It was a great time. The kids had fun. They had a frozen pizza and snacks for dinner. no problems at all. And that was the end of that day. The next day was our final day in the parks, and we decided to go back to Magic Kingdom. That day we did not have any dining reservations, so we just did quick service restaurants. And I think we were all just really tired too. 4 days in a row in the parks I think was a little much. So this was the day that we ended up getting pizza from the Trails End restaurant and just having that instead of dinner in the park. For lunch, we ate at Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe, a quick service restaurant in Tomorrowland. And I want to say we yet again did chicken tenders. So there were a lot of chicken tenders. I feel like especially for kids, that is one of the big allergy-friendly things that they're able to do. I think we maybe could have also done a hamburger, but that was just not what was interesting that day. So another kids meal, cuties as a side, chocolate milk as a drink, and that worked out really nicely. One unfortunate thing is that I had seen online that Anti-Gravity's Galactic Goodies might have allergy-friendly soft serve, and I think for a lot of people that might be the case, but when I went to ask them, unfortunately they use coconut oil in all of their soft serve, and I don't think it said that on the website. It is possible that they had changed their soft serve ingredients list since they had last posted that. So my kid who had really wanted ice cream was super bummed. We went there, they couldn't have anything, but I had a feeling that maybe if we went to the ice cream shop on Main Street, which is run by Edie's Ice Cream, I was like, maybe we can go there and they'll say it's fine. And I'll be honest, I was a little nervous because they do a lot of nutty toppings and things like that, but we went ahead, we talked to them at the register, and the manager came out to talk to us and was absolutely amazing. They were able to do 2 scoops of ice cream. They were scooped separately with different scoopers from different ice cream containers, prepared specifically in an allergy-safe environment, put on a purple tray, and my kid was able to have ice cream, and that was wonderful. This is another thing that I think I forgot to get footage of, but it was delicious. Everyone was thrilled, and that was a great end to the parks day. So that night we just did pizza from the Trails End restaurant, and then I went to the spa the next day to get a mani-pedi, which was very nice. I think they did pizza again for lunch that day. I was like, we're gonna have vegetables when we get home, because there were not many vegetables in sight, at least for the children. But again, vacation, we do not do this often. So I think they did pizza for lunch. We did the allergy-friendly chicken tenders and French fries meal for dinner. And then for our last night there, we went to this really fun Chippendale sing-along where they have campfires to do s'mores. And one great thing is they have s'mores kits. Everything was allergy-friendly. I was able to buy the graham crackers, the Hershey's chocolate, and the marshmallows. None of them had any of our allergens. And so our kids got to make s'mores for the first time. We live in the city, so this is not a thing that they normally get to do, and they loved it and had an absolute blast. Then we were packed up and headed to the airport the next morning, where they again had Chipotle. Because it was an easy option in the terminal. So overall, a really wonderful week. We had a fantastic time. I think that Disney does a really great job trying to be aware of allergies and be allergy friendly. So one of the few places that I think you could feel really comfortable going with multiple food allergies or severe food allergies. Of course, nothing is going to be perfect. So every day we went to the parks, we made sure we were carrying our allergy meds and our EpiPen just in case. And thankfully we didn't have anything serious happen, which was great. Hopefully this is helpful as you're planning your own trip and trying to decide where to go and what might be good options. I also hope that this is just encouraging for people who feel like they're not included or not able to include their kids in fun things that everyone else gets to do because of it. I really think that they make a huge effort and do a pretty good job. We had an amazing time. I would definitely go back if we had the opportunity in the future. Talk to me in the comments down below. Let me know any of your thoughts. And if you have any additional tips for people going to Disney World with kids, especially with food allergies, let us know in the comments down below. If you like this video, it always helps if you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.